Hi guys, today we hear the news that Tommy Robinson, aka Stephen Christopher Yoxley Lennon, was jailed for 18 months for contempt of court. Now, for those who aren't familiar with this individual, he was the founder of the English Defence League, the EDL, an anti-Islam, anti-immigration group. Now, I won't be talking here about why Robinson was jailed, but the fact that Reform UK has upset both him and many of his supporters by distancing themselves from the far-right leader. Nigel Farage some weeks ago said that he doesn't want Robinson or his lot in his party, and this was reinforced by Richard Tice when he appeared on GB News. So why would Reform snub someone like Tommy Robinson, considering the huge following he has?
Tommy Robinson, people have been protesting in his name. What do you make of Tommy Robinson? Is he a good guy in your eyes?
No. All of that lot, we have nothing to do with them.
Even the protesters who have got banners up saying two-tier Keir, you agree with them on the policing and justice?
We agree with ourselves. I'm not aligning ourselves with Tommy Robinson's lot in any shape or form.
But tell me before we go.
Okay, so why would he do such a thing? Why would he say we don't want to align ourselves with Tommy Robinson? So I think there are a number of reasons. Some of them are quite obvious, some less so obvious. So the obvious one is the optics. Tommy Robinson is a loose cannon. Tommy Robinson is far right, and Reform UK want to present themselves as a centre-right party. Now, are they a centre-right party? Well, it depends on who you ask and what your definition of centre-right is. But they want to present themselves as a much more mainstream party than, for example, UKIP or other parties that came before on the far right. Now, the problem for Reform, and I've mentioned this before, is if they move to the centre, they're going to lose support. Now, it's also interesting that there is an overlap between Nigel Farage supporters and Tommy Robinson supporters. Both of them are campaigning against Islam. Both of them are campaigning against immigration. And while Farage isn't so on the nose about these things, Tommy Robinson is. And I think one of the reasons as well, of course, against allowing Tommy Robinson and people like Tommy Robinson into the party, apart from the optics, is that you can't control him. See, for Nigel Farage, everyone who joins the party, they have to, in a sense, swear allegiance to Nigel Farage. But Tommy Robinson would not do such a thing, because as soon as he would, and the party moves a little bit to the left, away from the far right, then Tommy would be regarded as a traitor, abandoning his principles. So I don't see Tommy Robinson trying to join Reform, and I don't see Reform allowing somebody like him in, both for the optics, but also for the fact that he can't be controlled. Now, on a wider picture, if Reform start to move to the left, move to the centre, they're going to lose support because they present themselves as an anti-establishment party, which is quite funny because most of the people running it are, privately educated multimillionaires. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to present themselves as a real alternative. If they want to win seats, they have to move somewhat to the centre. They can't run on the far right. So that's why they want to distance themselves from people like Tommy Robinson. Now, Robinson, in a sense, if the party wanted to stay on the far right, could be an asset. He has a huge following. He's able to get people out onto the streets, maybe to a greater extent than Nigel Farage even could. So if they were to stay on the far right, they would probably be, it'd be probably a good idea to have somebody like Tommy Robinson on board. But obviously, they don't want to do that. They want to present themselves as a mainstream party, move somewhat to the left, to the centre, and distance themselves from people like Tommy Robinson and the far right and the EDL. But of course, by doing so, they're going to upset their base. But perhaps Farage and others realise that we can abandon these people and pick up more moderate conservatives or centre-right conservatives if we do that. So we will lose some but gain others. But I think it's going to be interesting if they do move to the centre or closer to the centre. What gap will that create? Because if Tommy Robinson is out of jail in 18 months' time, he could be creating his own party. He may be emboldened by his time in prison, and his supporters may be demanding that he fill that gap that Farage has left behind. And this would, of course, create problems for both the Conservatives and Reform UK. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.